Hello and welcome to a YouTube exclusive of the most haunted city on earth. My name is Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Susi.
And today we are going to be talking about an interesting uncovering, if you will, that's happened here in the general region of Savannah. And we'll get into that in just one second, but I do have a surprise that I figured we'd show on camera. Nobody has seen this because I just bought this like an hour ago.
Ooh.
Okay, so I went to an estate sale, as I do.
An amazing
Often.
place to find haunted objects and artifacts.
And this is a really creepy one. So we'll start out with the lighter one. So there's two. First off, we have this. It's going to make a lot more sense after that. So this house, the people who lived there were very Catholic and very deeply into Catholic ritual. This was hand forged for them. And it is...
That's a straight up iron cross.
Mm-hmm. And
These people meant business.
They meant serious business. So I think with this, it was paired with this, which is... honestly, the part that I'm the most excited about. You're going to have to cut this part, JT. I'm trying to pull the sticker off.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll get the sticker-y stuff off in a second, but...
All right, I got it.
Okay. Most of the sticker is off. But anyways, so then I got this, and this is a Last Rites kit.
Yes.
From the 1930s.
Holy cow. Look at that.
And it still has the candles. It still has the holy water vial.
Very cool. Yeah, we have a couple of these in the museum, much larger. This is a very compact little Last Rites kit. And Last Rites kits are so fascinating because they are absolutely about anticipating death, expecting death, and that makes them all on their own. It makes them kind of this incredible artifact of grief and of impending death. That's a really fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen one this small.
Right.
You know, usually they're kind of ornate. They're large and ornate, but this is like gotta run. This person's about to die.
Well, and the only part of it that I was intrigued by was that it didn't come with a rosary, which, I mean, typically everything Catholic ritual comes with a rosary.
I imagine that this is where the rosary would go. If you look, there's a little notch. There's a notch here where you would probably put the cross, and then the beads would sit right here.
And
that they come out. Mm-hmm. That's neat.
It is. It's very neat.
It's very neat. It absolutely is incredible.
And it's also been giving me a headache since I picked it up. And I tried it out.
Hold this.
Literally. Well, maybe that won't work for me either because I'm a fae, obviously.
Well, we'll burn the fae away. Burn it away.
But yes. So I got these because I figured either it was going to live on our set or it could live in the museum.
Sure.
But what have you, nonetheless, very creepy. And oddly enough, I don't think either of them were anywhere near Catholic fatherhood. So
sure.
I don't know what kind of underground stuff they were doing.
With certain artifacts, especially when you're when you get used to the idea that people would collect and keep things in their home for those purposes. Like a Last Rites kit was pretty common in like large family homes because so many people would grow to age and pass that they would have them installed in their homes, or not installed, but kept in their homes. But priests would. That just feels like somebody was planning some combat with a spirit. And looking even closer, I think this was used in conjunction with a crucifix.
Probably.
There is a like a notch in it that suggests that you might have been able to affix something to the front of it. But the need, because this is a really rough hewn cross. But if you need an iron cross, and not the service metal that was given out,
right.
but a cross made of iron, you're anticipating some foul things, indeed.
And it makes sense. Like, I genuinely think they were dealing with some crazy stuff in that house just because of the amount of crosses in
Sure.
every single room. And every single room, there were like a ton of different photos of Jesus and the disciples and the various saints.
Right. There's a difference between devotion and desperation.
Right.
You know, if you're literally plastering your building with devotional objects, it's because you want to keep an evil out, or you want to cleanse, or you want to, there's only so much praise necessary. So when every surface is covered with crosses, it's like, oh, these people felt some way about
Something.
yeah.
And unfortunately, neither of them are here to tell us what it is, but we
Right.
can only guess.
Yeah, that's really an impressive piece because
It is.
again, it speaks of necessity. It's not made like an artisan made it. It's definitely made like they rolled up on a blacksmith and was like, "Can you
Forge something.
forge something for me?"
Exactly. So that's our part one of this little mini episode. And this was not planned. This was just, I happened upon these, so I had to bring it here. But now on to the meat of this. We're going to be talking about the excavation, if you will, of Richmond Hill. Some of you, if you live in the general southeast region of the U.S., you might remember seeing this maybe a week or so ago about Richmond Hill, them finding remains and not properly taking care of them. So I'm going to read you a little bit of a breakdown of exactly what happened, and then we'll discuss. So, in a chilling and deeply unsettling turn of events, the U.S. government has filed a federal lawsuit against a real estate developer in Richmond Hill, Georgia, which, if you've never been to Savannah, it's about a 25 to 30-minute drive, depending on where you are in Savannah. After uncovering that the company allegedly destroyed Native American burial sites, including human remains. Savannah Land Holdings, the developer behind the upscale Waterways neighborhood, is accused of bulldozing through sacred ground, violating federal permits that are supposed to protect culturally sensitive areas. And when federal officials inspected the site in 2023, they found widespread violations. Ancient human remains have been disturbed, displaced, and in some cases completely destroyed, along with thousands of funerary objects and sacred artifacts. And the land in question contains at least 18 known archaeological sites, some of which held remains believed to belong to Native American ancestors. Rather than halting work and notifying tribal or federal authorities as required by law, the developer allegedly pressed on, scattering ancestral bones and sacred objects in the process. The Seminole Tribe of Florida and the Georgia State Historic Preservation Office were never properly consulted. An estimated of 80,000 artifacts were mishandled and at least 3,000 were lost entirely. And now the government is demanding that all development stop and that the land be secured from looters and that civil penalties be enforced. For those of us who believe that the dead deserve rest and that disturbing burial grounds never ends well, this case hits especially hard.
I wish
Jeez.
that this was some isolated event and or
Right.
abnormal. This story is the story that I was told when I first got here in '93, told and retold about all developments all around. There are countless stories of developments where they've come across human remains, and their policy is don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody that you found a femur. Don't tell
Right.
anybody that you stumbled across a grave, because that gums up the process. And that is the business model in this area, in this region. And so, yeah, when this came out, it was like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happens.
This is the alarming thing that's happening right now is that someone's doing something about it. The fact that there is a federal lawsuit, in the works, it's like, that's amazing to me, because business as usual has always been, if you didn't see it, it didn't happen. Just tuck it away, because I cannot even imagine how many relics and ancient artifacts and
Oh,
funerary
absolutely.
things have been lost over the years. Just in the 30 plus years that I've been living here, this story has surfaced a couple of times, but it always surfaces in oh, did you hear they had found this? Oh, did you hear they had
Right.
found that? Even Broughton Street, when bones were on Broughton Street, it was a big spike, but it felt like we didn't spend any time trying to investigate
Right,
or
or
to
figure
figure it
out-
out what it
yeah.
was. It was quickly dismissed, and I was like, that felt a little brief in my estimation. But to the credit of whoever's in charge here, they are trying to make this group accountable. And let's face it, this is the classic setup for a horror story. I mean,
really is.
It is 100%. Ancient Indian burial grounds. That is like number one on the checklist of do not do's.
It's giving poltergeist.
Yeah, it's getting poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's fascinating because we see it time and time again. Even in Savannah, in Savannah proper, there were the Irene Mounds. There were all kinds of Indian burial grounds. The bluff itself, where Savannah is built, was Native American burial grounds. So there's all of these questions about, well, how much of this is just the companies don't even think about it.
Right.
They don't even take it into consideration. All they really know is to alert anyone, to alert any authority that you have come across human remains means your job is in jeopardy.
And Chris is absolutely right. This is the exact structure that we've seen a billion times in this area. Just off of the sheer amount of people we already know are buried underneath these places, it should be standard that we have a protocol here
Yeah.
of what to do in a respectful manner. So I completely agree.
There's even an article that the road into Tybee Island turned up dozens of graves.
I believe it.
Because in order to get onto Tybee Island, you have to go through this thing called Lazaretto Creek. And Lazaretto Creek was the quarantine site. And people were buried on that site, which happens to be right where Highway 80 goes into Tybee. And so there was this one news article that was like the tractors were turning up, bones, and then not another peep. No one said a word.
No. And that's probably because we don't technically have I believe in the state of Georgia, we don't technically have a fully fleshed out archaeological system.
Not really.
In this way.
And a lot of these stories came before the hyper awareness, because at one point, I think the policy was, well, they're dead.
Right.
There wasn't a whole lot of, well, we have to show respect, we have to do these things. There was no cultural significance to these burial grounds. So in a way, there was a period of time when it wasn't the desecration protocol. There's nothing in place. I think at worst, people were like, oh, that's a shame. And then it was drive on. And I think that our attitudes towards trying to preserve these places for their cultural significance have changed so much that we can see action. But I want to say that it was honestly business as usual to come across bodies and not say a word.
Yeah, it's more than likely they're going to get hit with a bunch of fines.
Yep.
And possibly haunted for the rest of their lives. Who knows?
Absolutely.
It's
Well, and it's like it's supposed to be this upscale community. They're going to feel it. And
absolutely.
Sadly, they will pay the fines. And the buildings will open, and the property will probably be more expensive because of the fines. And it's actually Richmond Hill's a very nice area. It's peaceful. It's removed. It's kind of this. It's a suburb really of Savannah. No offense to the Richmond Hill people who are very aware of their position being Richmond Hill, but it is a really nice place, and I know a lot of people who move there to get away from the trappings of Savannah, and so they're living on the marshes. They're living on the river. There's all these lovely places. So yeah, this is just kind of a weird stain on the reputation of the town.
So if you were looking into buying a house on what's it called, on the Waterways neighborhood,
Come to Waterways neighborhood.
maybe reconsider
Stay here forever.
or get a really good deal.
Get a good deal.
Yeah.
Would you say that the land is cursed?
now, probably.
That's what I mean.
And
Yeah.
that becomes a great question is what is the meaning of the word cursed? Because to me, curses are generally pointed. Like somebody has to actively want the damage. So I would say that the land is mournful, sorrowful, and vengeful.
Irritated.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I would call it as well. But that is our mini episode
Yay,
today.
mini episode.
Super small episodes. We're going to be doing more of these on YouTube. So stick around. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you push all the little buttons and things like that, whatever YouTube's added now. And with that, my name is Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Soucy.
And stay spooky, y'all.